When you ask people to think of their favorite royals from Magvel, you'll get a wide variety of answers. Some people might go with a safe pick and go for one or both of the game's main lords. Some people will go for the purple twink with major self-esteem issues. You'll find some going for the young, dashing prince of the White Dunes, and you'll find a few fans of the beautiful princess of peerless beauty. But there's a royal I find to be oft overlooked in comparison to the others. I am of course talking about Councilman Pablo from Carcino. Nah, I'm just kidding. No one gives a fuck about Carcino. This one's about Tana. Now, from the outset, Tana doesn't have it very well off. Her introduction is getting kidnapped by the Chapter 1 boss after the castle she's staying in is conquered, which, in all honesty, is completely understandable when the castle is guarded by a single dude. God, with defense regulations like that, it's no wonder Frelia's stone is easily destroyed. Like, come on, Hayden, get your shit together. Right. So, anyway, she's shown to be very impulsive and not the wisest person out there. So after being the damsel in distress, Tana remains behind as Erika begins her journey to save Ephraim, vanishing from the story until the route split occurs many chapters later. It appears that her father has realized letting the princess of a country run around so casually in wartime might not be the smartest idea he's ever had. Now, you see, Tana has decided that being kidnapped is really kind of a bummer. So when Erika leaves for Ralston, Tana grabs her lance and flies to her side, ready to fight for herself and all those she holds dear. And she might even prove to her father, brother, and the world that she can be a great knight. And she might get the chance to do that sooner than she thinks, because it turns out we do give a shit about Carcino. Her brother, Prince Inez, is betrayed by the Councilman Pablo, and is surrounded by enemies on all sides. And in his darkest day, it's Erika and Tana that come riding to his salvation. This seems to complete a sort of miniature character arc for her, as she begins the game as a helpless damsel in distress, and now has found the inner strength to fight for those she loves and cares about, proving to her brother that she is not as naive to the world as he thinks she is. She's no child, but a strong woman ready to take on anything that comes her way, including Satan. So, in a jump that is in no way comically related to the statement I just said, let's go over to Ephraim's route, wherein Tana decides to go help him just like she did Erika, and then only have her nativity get her kidnapped and forced to play the role of damsel in distress all over again. While this may at first seem like a way worse portrayal of her character, please hear me out here. While this route does make light of her combat capabilities and combat growth, it does highlight how her childlike mindset is actually a strength, not a weakness like Inez would have her think. In Ephraim's route, Tana can be used to recruit Cormag, something she couldn't do in Erika's. When she meets him, she asks him a very simple question. Why is he trying to kill Dussel if he doesn't think Dussel should die? Cormag tries to dodge the question multiple times, saying how his feelings don't matter or that he's just following orders, but Tana keeps persisting with her questioning, causing Cormag to accept the truth that he can't kill Dussel when he can't say with certainty that he thinks he should die. It's a moment where a childish statement like, "Why are you being bad if you know you're bad?" is all a man needs to hear to understand his actions. In addition to that, Tana has a unique scene with Ephraim much later into the game. Before the final battles, Ephraim is finding it very difficult to focus on the account that his best friend sold his soul to Satan. Due to Leon's betrayal, doubt starts to form in Ephraim's mind about everything, including Tana's friendship with him and whether or not it's truly genuine. But Tana gives a simple, "We're friends, so we're always gonna be friends," and that statement's enough to start calming Ephraim down. It's a very naive sentiment, but sometimes an overthinking and hyperactive mind needs to hear something so basic and simple in order to calm down and rationalize what's going on. Through the route split, we are able to see the two sides of Princess Tana. It's not that she's either a childish woman in over her head or a strong woman who can stand on her own, it's that she's both. Yes, she can be very reckless and very naive, but that nature of hers causes her to stand strong, because all of her choices are truly her own, for better and for worse. She's not just one personality trait, but a more fleshed out, complete person. But of course, this is Fire Emblem, so the story doesn't just stop at the story. We've got supports to go over. Tana has 6 supports, just shy of the highest amount in Sacred Stones. We've got Ephraim, where it's the tried and true Grumpy 1 and Sunshine 1 dynamic. We have Erika, where the two have a very good friendship, almost to the level of sisters. We have Inez, where it's the tried and true Grumpy 1 and Sunshine 1 dynamic. We have Syrene, where Syrene is, well, Syrene, an older sister figure for Tana almost. We have Cormag, where it's the tried and true Grumpy 1 and Sunshine 1 dynamic. And finally, we have Marissa, where it's the tried and true Grumpy 1 and Sunshine dynamic. Wait. In her supports with Cormag, she approaches the Wyvern Knight with an idea. Since they're both flyers and naturally susceptible to the onslaught of arrows, why not have a sort of buddy system in place for them to warn each other about the attack? Tana proposes that they use their mounts' shrieks to alert each other, since the cries of a wyvern and a pegasus can carry much farther than their voices ever could. This is actually a very sound idea, and helps show that Tana can be a bit more clever than most people would try to give her credit for. Inez. As the two start to get to know each other, Cormag starts to remark on how Tana needs to be more safe out there. As to quote him, "We soldiers are expendable, but you regal types aren't." To this statement, Tana rebukes him, saying that no life is expendable and that he should stop talking like that nonsense. At the end of their support, Tana tries to get him to join Frelia's Knights, but he remarks that he cannot unforge the bonds he's already made. To this, she says that she'll try to find him again one day and ask him again, showing both empathy and determination as strong suits to her character. Well, now's a good time to go over her supports with her knight, Captain Syrene. It's revealed in their support that Syrene was actually a sort of big sister figure to Tana, as Syrene's first job when she graduated from the Knight Academy was to serve as Princess Tana's bodyguard. The two realize it's been a long time since they were two kids running around Castle Frelia together, and decide to take a night and just catch up, just the two of them, and talk about all that's happened in their lives since those days. After sitting down and speaking with Tana, Syrene comes to the realization that Tana isn't the same little girl that she used to be. Tana's become more serious, more wise to the ways of the world, something that even Tana herself admits to, and I quote, "I know that I've lived in a sheltered life being a princess. I know that I've taken my family's wealth for granted. When I saw what the war had done to the people of Renee and Frelia, I knew that I needed to do something to change things." Their support ends with Tana and Syrene rekindling their bond of friendship, and making a promise between each other that they'll try and make it home no matter what, which is a bit different than how this kind of thing is typically handled. Normally this conversation is the sort to go, "I'll come home no matter what, I promise no matter what, blah blah blah," but Tana knows that certainty is an impossibility in war. All she asks is that Syrene comes home with everything in her power to do so, showing a greater understanding of the battlefield than how she started out at the beginning of the game. The last support we're going to go over is with the lady half of the main lord duo, Princess Erika. Their support starts with Tana comparing herself to Erika, lamenting that she lacks her level of maturity. Erika was able to go off on her own adventure and carve her own path, while Tana was stuck in Castle Frelia listening to her father's orders. Tana remarked that she wanted to be like Erika, and that's why she left Frelia in the first place. Erika responds with saying she's glad Tana's there, and that simply by being around her, Erika's mind can remember happier, not at war times. As their support goes on, Tana starts to express frustrations over her brother Inez, as he is telling her that she's in the way and that she should just go back home to Castle Frelia. Erika says she can relate, as Ephraim gets angry with her too when Erika puts herself at risk, even if her reasoning is sound. Tana laments that she and Inez constantly claw at each other's throats and are bickering, while Erika and Ephraim are so close and kind to one another. All Erika can do to calm her friend down is just remark that twins are a little more different than other siblings, though Tana is still a touch envious. Their support ends with Tana still in doubt over her ability to fight well in the war, which prompts Erika to tell her to have more confidence in herself and her abilities. Erika says that she would never have gotten as far as she did if she was relying only on her own strength, and it was through having people like Tana by her side that she was able to make it as far as she did. Erika then reminds Tana that she still has to deal with her father that she ran away from despite his orders, and promises to be there with her when she inevitably has to face him. Their epilogue states that their kids would go on to be just as close friends as they were, which is a very cute ending. And with that, our video has come to a close. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope this video encourages you to check out more of Tana's character. There are more supports to discover for those who are willing. Don't forget to like the video, comment on the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, and sacrifice your firstborn son in my name, though if you only have a daughter, that will be acceptable. I'm not sure who's gonna be up next, I just hope it doesn't take me 2 goddamn months to do it. So I'll see you guys then, whenever that's gonna be.
Change the world. My final message.